So we're at 8,500 and about 40 feet here. Everyone's out skiing. What a beautiful people. And speaking of needs, 3 levels of needs that we were talking about on Shabbos. Mark.
Yeah, so we're talking here about need, and about how need works. N-E-E-D. Right? It's a funny word, when you talk about a person being needy, that's like a bad thing. That person's too needy. And I want to try and kind of go deep into this because, needing things and being needed is actually a really core part of our essential humanity, and I think really of our essential divinity. We know, Luke, that when a couple's been together for many years and one of the partners dies and the other one really has no one who needs them, they often die soon afterwards. So being needed is a core need.
Yes.
Very, very beautiful idea. And so let's try and look at it in terms of men and women, in terms of relationships. The masculine, the feminine, men and women. So in kind of level 1 of men and women, men and women get together for a lot of reasons. Attraction, companionship. But underneath that is a real and powerful sense that they need each other. And this is what, Andrea Dworkin expressed in this very extreme way of expressing it. And it was a wrong way of expressing it, but what she was pointing to this when she said that for many years all heterosexual sex is rape.
Yeah.
What she meant was, again, it was a provocative and wrong way to say it, but what she meant was she was pointing to that many women would get married because there was a need. The need was security and economy and home, and there was no birth control. There wasn't sufficient education and possibility for women. The glass ceiling was really low. So I get married because I have to. I need a man. And men would often pick a woman and marry her. That's the other side of it, right? What Andrea Dworkin forgot is that it was rape on both sides, right? I need a woman because I can't have a family without a woman, because I can't really run my household. I can't have babies. Adoption is not a possibility. I need companionship. In other words, there was this kind of core need between men and women. And that created what we'll call the level 1 1950s relationship, in society. Then what happens is the masculine and the feminine begin to evolve, and they feel trapped, and birth control is created, and sex and reproduction is split, and feminine possibility and education beautifully comes to power. And feminine, expression through the healthiest parts of feminism makes major strides. And men become more developed and find other ways to meet needs of companionship and other ways to find fulfillment. And multiple relationships become possible. Serial monogamy becomes possible. Divorce becomes possible. And so the whole notion of kind of, I'm with you, you're with me, we need each other forever, breaks down. And so men and women begin to come together in a kind of level 2 model. And that level 2 model I would call the beyond need model. We're choosing to come together. It's a kind of partnership. We're supporting each other's, growth in a certain way, but it's a free choice. There's no sense of need. And for many people, that was like the evolved form. That's like, wow. Like, we really arrived. Like, that's fantastic. That's beautiful. But then what happened is, as the masculine and feminine kept evolving, they began to realize, well, there's not a lot of juice in that, right? There's a kind of, we call it in Hebrew wisdom, there's a kenegdo, which means an opposition, right? The male-female relationship is described in the Torah as kenegdo. There's got to be an oppositional quality, a polar quality, and that's core to the relationship. And each one's holding a different pole, and the poles need each other. And so there began to be a realization that after I've asserted my agency, my independence, my autonomy, I also want to be free to need you, right? I want to be free to say, I'm a fully free, liberated, autonomous woman, and I need him. I need my man. And I'm a fully free, liberated, emancipated, autonomous man, and I need my woman. Now that's level 3 need. That's not the same as level 1. And in both cases, there's really a profound sense of need, but it's level 1 need. There's level 2 moving beyond need. Then there's level 3, reclaiming need. And so that's a very high understanding of needing each other. Like, so sometimes, you know, I can be talking to someone and I'll say, hey, I need your help, I need a backlink. And then my friend will have a kind of like contraction. Well, you have a need. Well, actually, need's real, right? In other words, we can actually need each other in the world and not be using each other. Because we have autonomy, we have independence, and we can actually freely acknowledge the ways that we can need and help each other. And that's powerful. And the model for that in the world, and here's the big idea. This is like the big blowaway, off the charts, gorgeous. I mean, it's so stunning and beautiful. The model for that in the world is God. And the single most important idea in authentic Hebrew wisdom is, you know, man's deed is God's need. And the way Ibn Gabbai says it in the 16th century, he says, Avodah tzorech gavoah. Human service, human growth, human development, that's God's need. Now, of course, Maimonides would say that's heresy. What do you mean? God has no needs. And the way to understand it, and you and I talked about this on Shabbos, I think when we were walking, I was walking you to shul actually, is, you know, when you enter a love relationship, right? Before you knew that person, you needed nothing from them. Their moods didn't affect you, their life didn't affect you, nothing affected you. By the way, now I need you, I'm now near the cliff. He could just push me over in a second if he doesn't like the Torah. Oops, there went Gafni. Right, so
Kafira.
Right, so it's a really deep idea. So I enter the love relationship, and my gift that I'm giving you is I'm willing to need you. Right? I mean, it's a gorgeous idea. God creates the world out of love, teach the Kabbalists, and it's a really mapping of inner reality, and God's gift to us is God's need. And maybe the last thing, just to say it in a really way that's really kind of easy to access and to touch for everyone. Remember Rocky? Give us the music. Bump, 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 right?
Yeah.
Jumping up there on the Philadelphia steps.
Yeah.
So in the first Rocky, what's the turning point in the movie? Right before the Rocky music goes on and he's going up the steps there in Philadelphia. You know, Rocky's kind of exhausted. He falls unconscious for a couple of days, and Adrian is by his bedside. And Adrian, you know, she's with him, and they're about to break up actually, and the relationship's on the rocks. And Rocky's kind of moving his own way. And he wakes up and he says, Adrian, I need you. And when he's able to own that need, oh my God, so there's a space for real open heart and love. And that need exists, you know, says the Rebbe of Ishbitz, Mordechai Leiner of Izbeka, you know, who's really my teacher in some deep way. He says that relationship of need is between friends, between teachers and students, right, between, you know, romantic lovers, between partners, right, to not use each other, to be completely free and autonomous, and then to rise even higher and in a free, open-hearted way, own our need and delight in our need. Amen. Let it be so.
Look at that skier coming down from that very steep place.
End of need. Skier coming down. Wow. Wow.
Can you
wow,
ski?
wow. Oh my gosh. I ski the Jewish way, Luke. I buy ski clothes. That's it. It stops there. Look at that. Wow, huh? Yeah, it's a couple of them.
Quite a slope.
Yeah, quite a slope. It's actually quite a slope.